All right. Greetings. Osio. Welcome to the Red Road East. I'm your host, Fierce Truth Seeker. The Red Road East is an Indigenous TV program and YouTube channel dedicated to archiving and preserving the history, legacy, and culture of the indigenous peoples of the Americas east of the Mississippi River and the Caribbean. So, this evening's show is gonna be very powerful and very scary. And our guest is no stranger to the show. This is part 4 of her particular series. And I'm telling you, it's gonna really shake y'all up because she's had some more since the last show. She's had more paranormal experiences, and she's not making this stuff up. This is real deal. Okay, so I am joined by my co-host today, Strongbear Woman, OCO.
OCO, how are you?
Good. Yeah, man, I tell you. I see Firebird is in the house. Hey, Firebird. Yeah. No, 5:30. Wanted to send you an invite, but I know you said that your computer is down, so that's why I didn't send an invite. The 8:30, that's for the other show that I'm going to be doing with Dr. Fatu Firebird. This one here is with Donna, and we we're here trying not to be scared because I know that she's coming with some really scary stories. And so while we're waiting, I guess I'll prep y'all for the upcoming show in at the end of the month. Okay, on the 28th, we'll be doing another show with Dr. Fatu Diarra. Okay, and that particular show is gonna be centered around my grandmother's DNA test results. And I'll talk more about that after the show and give you a little prep. The results kind of shook me up, though it didn't surprise me, but it did kind of shake me up because it confirmed research, the stuff that I'd come across in my research. Let's see, what's this, 2020? This is 2026 in 2017. So it's like about, that was a while ago. That was some years ago. Okay, yeah, 2020. That was in 2017 when I had come across some information that kind of shook up my genealogical foundation. And I don't want to spoil the show, but again, it confirmed everything with regards to the indigenous ancestry. However, it shakes the foundation not only of my own personal genealogy. As I said, everything was there that I knew was there, But it's the additional stuff that, which is like I said, I had come across the additional stuff years ago, but I just put it to the side because it was overwhelming. Not only that, but it also, those results shake up what we know in academia, which is concerning Native American history. Okay, those results are going to shake all of that up. Okay, things that we already knew about the history, but to actually see it in real time and in our day and time can be quite disturbing to some people. Okay, and I'll leave it at that, and I'll let Dr. Fatu go in on that. Okay, but yeah, I see Firebird is here. I really wish she could join the panel, and when she gets her computer back up and running, then she can be on the, hopefully by the time we do the next show with Dr. Fatu, she'll have her computer up and running. Okay, let's see. I'm getting a text here. Give me 1 second from our guest. Just give me a second. Let's see here. Okay, so our guest will be here in a few seconds. And so, Strongbear Woman, I know this show is right up your alley.
Yes, sir. Hates.
It's right up your alley.
Yes, sir.
It's your cup of tea.
Yes, Lord.
The Firebird likes it too, but not like this is your alley. This is your
Yes,
lane.
yes, sir. This is my lane.
It's it's my lane too, But I know this is this is your passion.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Cause when you told me about it, I was like, look, I said, oh my God, my hair's standing up all over my head. I wasn't prepared. You said, oh, you could come on, just turn off the camera. I said, that's fine with me. I'll be there.
So okay. Yeah. Firebird says she could. Okay. She says she could come on, but she chooses the computer. I understand that. Yeah, because
Yeah.
phones could be kind of problematic, sometimes when you're doing lives and meetings and things like that, you know. So I understand that. Like I said, we would love to have Firebird on, but I understand she prefers the computer. I understand that. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. It's up to you, Firebird. You can now if you want. You're always welcome. I know you want the computer, but you're always welcome. Yeah. So we have Gerara in the house. Hey, that is our good brother. How's it going? And he comes from, if I remember correctly, that's our brother from the Pan-African persuasion and Indigenous persuasion, which, on this platform, we don't have a problem with that. Some people do. We don't have a problem with that. You know, we, we, we welcome all of the family, you know. So peace and Pan-Africanism and Americanism to you, Jawara. I remember him from the last show. And Firebird says she's here. You're on the. Are you saying you're logged in? Because I don't see you in the back. If you are, I see Strongbear, but I don't see. I don't see you in the. Did you send her the link? Strongbear.
Oh no, I did. I didn't send it a link. Hold on. I'm gonna send it. Let me see. I'm gonna send it to her email. Hold on. Let me send it here.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute now. I gotta forward it.
And
Uh,
while we're doing that, for those who are watching, please hit the thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. For those who haven't subscribed, okay, it would be greatly appreciated, and it doesn't cost you a dime. So if you'd be so kind to do that, it helps with the show algorithm and everything. Oh, she said no, just here. I guess she's meaning, are you? Is she meaning that she's just on the in the chat, or is she saying she wants to be on the panel? Yes. Okay. Donna saying she's in as well, but I don't see her. Let's see. Let me let her know I don't see her. Yes. Did you press where it says to allow camera and mic? Question mark. Oh, here she is. All right.
Forgot to press
Here
enter.
you are. What was that?
I forgot to press enter in studio. Sorry.
It's okay. I knew it was something like that. Yeah,
That was me and not something else.
yeah. Good to have you.
Oh, good to have you too. Thank you for having me as always.
Yeah. And for those who may be just here for the first time seeing one of Donna's interviews, Donna is someone who has an extensive bio. Okay. You want to introduce yourself for those who may be brand new to the series?
Sure. Okay. So, I guess you want me. I'm Donna Coane, and my name is Asanha Askundo, which means small deer. Um, and do you want me to say anything outside of what we're going to do tonight?
Sure. Yeah. Give it. Tell them what you do, all your music that you do,
Okay.
the awards you've won, and all that good stuff.
Okay, well, we are Spirit of Thunderheart. We were signed on in 2013 with our record producer and CEO with Don Blackfox, Spirit Wind Records. We were with him for about 13 years, I guess it would be 13. Mm, yeah, I guess 13 years. I I guess. But anyways, he passed on a few years ago, which we miss him really dearly. I mean, he was everything to us. Without him, we wouldn't be where we are today. So, but we really do miss him. But all while we were signed under him, we have 3 nominations and 2 wins, and we have 3 CDs. The first one is Rising, and that was produced in 2013, and we won our first Native American Music Award in 2014. And
Nice.
in 2016, we produced another CD, which is Unity. and that one was nominated.
Mm.
And then in 2019, we 18/19, we produced a third CD, which is called Tradition, and that one was nominated in 2019, and we won in 2019. And matter of fact, there was 3 other musicians. There was a couple, a group, and another musician at our table. We all won at that table for 2019. So that was like the big hurrah before COVID. So
Nice.
yeah, it was very nice for that to be such a success for our whole table, not just
Mm.
us, but the whole table. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So that was our second win. So I do have a 4th CD planned. I'm waiting for my Brenda to come back. So it won't be for a while. And but that one is going to be Rising with Unity and Tradition. That's going to be the 4th CD label. And I did it on purpose, the way I titled the other 3 CDs, so that when I did a 4th, being 4th, oh, I'm not plugged in. Hold on a second.
We can hear you.
And now my computer's gonna knock out.
Oh, okay.
I think the cord got knocked out, so the battery's gonna die. There we go. Okay. Am I plugged in? Yes. Okay. There we go. Okay.
I almost thought that was one of those entities messing with the.
I don't know. Anyway, my battery's gonna die. So anyway, again, we had planned on doing a 4th CD. Number 4 is a sacred number. You know, you got 4 directions, and
Yeah.
it's just a sacred number. And so I planned it from the very beginning with my goal to actually have a CD Rising, and then Unity, and then Tradition. So the 4th CD would be Rising with Unity and Tradition, Spirit of Thunderheart. So that will be the 4th CD.
Mm.
And I already have songs that are pretty much, I wrote the songs already. They're ready to go, with exception to maybe 2 more songs that I probably will add to it. And I have the music already written, actually. So those songs are ready to go. I just have 2 more songs that I want to add to it that I didn't complete yet. So anyway, I have time for that. I like to sometimes time and think, you know.
Where can they buy your music?
Okay, so on Spirit of Thunderheart's Facebook, there's links right there where it'll take you right over to buy our music if you're a distance away. So that's the best way to buy our music right
On
there.
Facebook, okay.
Yeah, right off of Facebook.
Let me post that up. So Spirit
of Thunderheart. They just Google us on Facebook there.
Spirit of Thunderheart on Facebook.
Yeah.
For purchases. I would say to purchase music. Now is that Thunderheart heart like the heartbeat HEART? Or is
yes.
it H? Okay. All right.
Yes. Yes. And Thunderheart is all one word.
Oh, it's all one word. Okay, let me correct that. So spirit of that's the correct one. This is the correct one right here. Spirit of Thunderheart, one word. And on Facebook, that's where you can purchase the music. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna make a purchase tonight and show my support.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Our favorite one is, unfortunately, it's really funny how the first one ends up being our favorite one. I mean, they all are good, but we really love the first one. That is our favorite. Yeah.
what's the name of the first one?
Rising.
Rising. Okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna make that purchase. And for those in YouTube land, do the right thing and make a purchase as well.
Thank you. Thank
And
you for
show your
supporting us.
support.
We really do appreciate it.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's how we have to do. We have to support one another.
Yeah, definitely.
As a matter of fact, as we talk, I'm looking you up now on Facebook. So you can continue as I'm doing that.
Okay. So anyway,
So
we have 13 awards from our record company for outstanding contributions to the Native American music industry. Silver Arrow Awards. So that was through Spirit Wind Records that we received those. And about a year ago, a little bit less than a year ago, you know, I was looking for, a new record label. And I went through a few of them, and they had studios, and it just wasn't jiving, I was so used to our record company that, did, so it was very hard to replace him. And so I decided that the one studio that I had spoken to, we're going to use them to record. And they're up in Westover, New York. And I actually produced our own independent record label. So basically, independent meaning we don't take on other musicians. We are independent within ourselves. So, and the Native American Music Awards Board do accept independent record labels. So we're basically set for when I go to submit for a nomination for the fourth CD. So that's the plan. And the name of the record label is Spirit Mountain Records. And I did Spirit Mountain because to me, mountains are so spiritual, and it kind of like a kickoff of record company that we belong to, but new. And when I designed the graphics, I made it so that the tip of the mountain had like a light beaming off of it. And then over on the side, you saw a music note that was made into, instead of a circle on the bottom, it was a heart. And that was to honor our last record company, to pay tribute to him. But I had an awesome graphic designer that completed, because I had scratch. I gave him the idea, and he fixed it up for me. And I'd have to his name, it kind of leaves my mind, but I'll see if I can come up with it.
Well, I see Dad's watching. He says greetings, everyone. All right.
Let's see. See if I can come up with it. It might take me a while to come up with his name. I don't know it automatically.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, we're joined. I have a co-host there. We're joined with Strongbear Woman.
Hello.
Strongbear Woman. She must have stepped away.
Oh, hey, I'm here. Hi, everybody. OCO.
Hello.
Yo.
Hello.
Yes, hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fine. This is my kind of show right here.
Oh,
This is my
glad.
kind of show.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah, I'm
you
trying to
also,
find his name.
oh, and Donna also is a Reiki master, and she teaches Reiki. So those who are interested in learning Reiki, you have someone right
Then just
here who,
know. Hmm.
huh?
Here we go. I just came up with his name. Bruce Sconzo. Bruce Sconzo, I think is how you say it. He was
Okay.
the fellow that helped me out with the graphics. He did other artist graphics too. He did my dear friend's graphics also, and he does awesome work. I mean, he took my kind of chick scratch and kind of made it to what my my thought was, what I envisioned, and
So,
it's really beautiful. He did. So I want to give him respect and just say who he was that helped me out. And but yeah, um, it was uh, it was an honor to be with our last record company for all those years, and until still today we miss him a lot. We really do.
mm,
Um, but now we're moving on to something new. And I know he's looking down and he's going to be proud of us. We're going to make him proud, even in the spirit world. We're going to make him proud. So
mm,
that's our plan.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you
But,
also have, oh, before that, now some of our viewers are not on Facebook, they're on other social media outlets. Is
mhm.
there another way that you sell the music on the other social media platforms?
They can reach out. Unfortunately, our website kind of got I don't want to say hacked, but the person that was doing it made it so that we can not do a website actually with our name. So they kind I'd have to hire someone to fix, and help me out. But
So,
anyways, which I'm not going to do right now. But they can you can put down my phone number and they can reach out to me. My phone's funny. It's a very private phone. It's kind of funny. So it's
is
better to
private, you sure you want to put it out there?
yeah, they can text me or
Yeah,
even email. They can
yeah,
email me
email is
too.
good.
Um,
Email is
without
good.
giving out a phone number.
What's the email?
Email me at spiritofthunderheart at yahoo.com. That would be easier because then I can transfer that over to my son. He's the one that deals with orders. Is my son.
There it
So,
is right there. Okay, it's in the chat. Did everything look good right there? Spirit of Thunderheart at yahoo.com.
let me see. I was going to type it in there, but my phone thing. Let me see comments. Is that what I hit?
It's on the
Uh,
screen.
oh yeah. Hold on a second. I got to put on glasses because I can't see.
Oh, yeah, you like me. I have the reading glasses.
I know, right? Yeah, that's right.
That's correct. Okay.
Yep, that's correct.
All right.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So for those who
yeah,
want to purchase the music, go right there to the email if you're not on Facebook.
yeah. Just email, us on that, and then my son, he's the one that places the orders.
Okay,
So,
great.
and then they can pay me through. I guess they can pay me through PayPal.
PayPal.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah. There, I just clicked on that connect so I can join. No, I guess not. I don't know. It's being funny. Anyways, but anyways, yeah, I'll give them my PayPal, and then they can do it that way.
Okay. So
So
now
to my
tell
son,
them.
to my son, it, they would have to give me their address in email. So it would be address, what CD they want, how many they want, and then also, um, so I respond back to them. I can give them my PayPal address. My son email. My son's the one that deals with my PayPal, so he's the one that does all that. So
Okay.
if they don't have Facebook.
Yeah. So now they're wondering, because the last show you had so much to say in regards to these experiences. They're wondering what else could have happened, other than all the
Okay.
other stuff that happened. So
Yeah, I'm into other stuff. Okay. Mm.
they're
So
trying
the
to
biggest
figure out how is that possible.
yeah, I'm gonna start with the biggest thing that was recently. Then I got other things that um, but I have notes. I had to write down notes so that I don't get off track and I don't forget anything. So I've been
Hmm.
taking notes. The biggest thing that was probably the most darkest thing that happened was uh about maybe a month ago, and I was home alone with the dogs and the cats, literally home alone with the animals. And I was in our laundry room, which you go through our kitchen to laundry room. There's a door to outside, and then on the right side of that door outside, there's a basement door, and right there, it's a closet. So next to the basement door, not next to it, but on the other side of it, when you would open the knob, on the other side, there's a closet door. And in that closet, we call it the dog food closet, the dog closet. Everything for the dogs are in that closet with garden things, and that's what kind of closet it is. And so I went to get food for the dog, and I heard this really loud um, boom, 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 boom on the basement door, but I just didn't hear it. I could see the door like vibrating, like someone was really trying to get in. And I thought, oh, did someone come? So I go out in the kitchen, I look out the window, and no one's home.
Mm.
So that means no someone's in my basement, and it's not anyone that lives here, you know. And so I went back to the door, and I quickly closed the closet door, and I could hear someone on the stairs. So I called my daughter. Well, I was on the phone with a friend at the time. So I'm on the phone with a friend, and I all of a sudden I came in the kitchen, and I was like pushed into the sink, and something took me over. Like, I can't explain what it felt like. It was just
Mm.
out of this world. It was just like something took me over. Like, I could feel them, like, having control of me. I guess that's how I would say it. And my friend on the phone thought I was being attacked. She thought I was on the floor and someone was attacking me. To her, that's what it sounded like. But then she said I let out the most haunting scream that she ever heard someone scream. Like, it
Mm.
was a haunting scream, and I didn't even know that I was screaming. I mean, it was like I was in another time and space.
Mm.
And then after that, I told her, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta call, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta call someone, I gotta go. Right. So I quickly hung up. I called my daughter and I said, I don't know if there's someone in the basement, but I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of like nervous. I mean, this is what happened and this is what's going on. She goes, I'll come right over. So she comes over. Um, she has her dog, right? Dog's in a harness. We go downstairs. I go down with her, and we don't see nobody, nothing. Nothing's disturbed. We go in the garage. We go in the storage part. Nothing's disturbed, right? And in the front, there's like nothing disturbed. So, but what was weird, I went into the furnace room. Over on the other side of furnace, there looked like there was a scuffle that went on. It was really weird. The floor was really weird. And it doesn't look like that now. When you go in there, you don't see that now. But there was something imprinted in the floor that made it look like there was a scuffle. So, okay, so we went back upstairs, and she stayed with me until my husband got home, because he comes home before my son sometimes. And, it was just really the strangest thing. Now, I've closed a couple of portals that was in the entrance to my laundry room, from the kitchen to laundry room, and in front of my stove. And this here was on the other side of the basement door, which was on the stairs.
Mm.
So it was the strangest thing that I think that's the worst thing that I've ever experienced. That was, except for one time when I went to turn around a funeral home, and I had the air knocked out of me. So I went
Really?
through. I could see someone laid out, actually, in a coffin. The coffin closed, but there was someone there. And I went through there, went to turn around, and something took my breath right away.
Wow.
Like something sucked air right out of my lungs. I think those two were the worst things I've ever had. That
That's
really was
crazy.
so bizarre, so weird. And
Wow.
luckily I haven't had an experience like that since. But
Mm.
I will say that right now the veil is very thin. Very,
Mm.
and I think that's what's going on. And sometimes I don't think it's also bad. I think a lot of time there is good, and it's trying to protect us. But
Mm.
that wasn't protecting me, though. That was not protection right there.
Yeah,
That was the
because
opposite.
our co-host on here tonight, Strongbear Woman, she's had a lot of experiences too, and I told her, I said, you've definitely had a lot of experiences, no doubt. But Donna's like your experiences on steroids, because at least she's not getting the wind knocked out of her, and all that kind of stuff.
On steroids. Oh my god.
Woo!
I need an anesthesiologist though for the basement thing though.
Man, that's
But yeah, those
that's
two
crazy.
things were nuts.
Wow.
Terrible. And there's been on my list I have about without repeating past things, 14 things.
Really? Do
And
you
I
hear
thought
that, Strongbear Woman? Do you hear that?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
You're speechless. I've never heard. See, Strongbear and I, we talk all the time. I've never heard her speechless. This
It's
is the first time
interesting.
I've ever heard her speechless.
Well, I've had my experiences too, but I've been working on. I'm too old for all that carrying on. I've had my experiences too.
Mm.
Man.
And then
What
the
do you?
next thing on my list is weird. I see a lot of like actual ghosts. Ghosts. And I was over in town, and I was driving through. You got me through, and I remember lots of Domino's, Verizon, and then a barber. Then over on the right, you got Chinese food and all kinds of different little restaurants and stores there, right? And there's a sidewalk that goes along there. And I'm going really slow, and I'm going to turn off soon. And I'm like, wow, well that man's really handsome, huh? That's interesting, because as I'm looking at him, he's not a person
Wow.
at all. He's walking and walking. And the next thing, in thin air, he's like gone. But he was a very handsome man. It was just strange. He was in like tan pants. He was all in basically tan. The pants were a little darker than the shirt, and he had on a light jacket, and he was just walking, and boom, gone. I was like, huh, okay, well, whatever.
So he was there, and then he wasn't there.
So, yeah, that was something really small. The hospital, just to coordinate those together, the hospital, without putting in, words about the hospital, but I was walking from the hospital and there was a doctor that had a briefcase, white coat, walking. He crossed the road, got onto the sidewalk, walking towards the parking garage, and as he got right to the corner, he was gone. There was nowhere for him to walk off right before that corner. He wasn't quite around the corner, but he was gone. He disappeared. But that was a doctor. It, that hospital is quite interesting. Um, there's two hospitals in Poughkeepsie. They're both very old hospitals. One's more interesting than the other one. That one isn't as interesting as the other one, but that was strange. A doctor outside. Last time I saw a doctor inside, not outside. So seeing him walk outside, it was quite interesting. And then I'm gonna kind of move on. Yeah, that was the hospital one. I got two things here. Yeah, he was very tall, that doctor. He was very tall and handsome, that doctor. Oh, then I was seeing this one doctor that it was really weird. Talking about doctors. But, during COVID, a lot of nurses and doctors died also. It just wasn't other people, And this doctor was shorter. He was a younger man, like in his 30s or so. Whereas the other doctor was a little bit older. He was in his 30s. And it seemed like my vision that I got from him was that he died of COVID, overlooking a COVID patient that died of COVID. But he was interesting. But it was definitely a doctor though. But he came and went. But it was definitely a doctor.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my house. Okay, we're talking about outside things, except for the first thing. But this outside thing, but part of the house, I would say. I was in the living room. I was sleeping in the living room. Dog was on the couch, sleeping down the end of the couch. Right, we were sound asleep. Right, and this was about 2 a.m. in the morning, and all of a sudden I hear a knock, on our atrium door, which is glass, right? And it's a knock like it's fingertip, if I can imitate it. Or not.
You broke up. You broke up a little bit. Can you repeat that, Donna? Donna.
Okay, so this happened too. Am I here?
Yeah, broke up a little bit. I can hear you now.
Yeah, I have internet, so I'm good. Okay, good. Okay, so this was something that happened when I was sleeping on the couch. It was like 2 a.m.
You were saying that you could imitate the knock. That was the last thing you heard. Yeah.
Oh, the last thing you heard. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Can I do it on the glass? That was better. That's louder.
Okay.
So, okay, glass case. So, anyways, it was like that, and it was like fingertips knocking, but it was way high up. It was not low like an animal. It was way high up, like someone reaching up and doing a knock high on the glass, right? And I was like, I am not getting up to see who's outside on the other side of that glass. I'm just going back to sleep. But the funny thing is that the dog heard it too. The dog also woke up and looked over there. And when I said, "Oh,
wow,"
she went back to sleep. I went back to sleep. But I never got up to see what that was. I wasn't about to get up and see what that was. That was strange. That was very weird. I mean, what the hey,
I don't blame you. So you never found out what happened?
I never found out what it may have been, or there was no evidence of any marks on the glass or
Mm,
anything.
yeah.
But it was very high, like someone was reaching up to knock. So it was
Mm,
very high. It definitely wasn't an animal. It was not an animal. And
mm.
birds aren't out at night, so it wasn't a bird.
It wasn't a person.
Wasn't I don't know. It wasn't a person. Um, I don't know.
Mm,
It was interesting. And then one night, it was late. I was still up. Phone's ringing. I'm like, my phone's ringing. I'm like, but there's no one calling me. Why is it ringing? There's nobody there, but the phone is ringing. I'm not calling nobody. The phone's just sitting there, but it's like someone's calling me, but there's no one lighting up on the phone. No
wow.
evidence of phone call, but it's ringing, and I'm like, how do I stop this? So I ended up turning it off, and then I turned it back on. But there was no evidence on the phone that someone called me or I called out.
Really?
I don't know what the heck that was about, but I know that. Remember when right now you can see me great, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing going on with light. Remember
Right.
when the light would flicker?
Yeah.
The light is fine. Right now the light, I shouldn't say anything, but right now the light is fine. So, something being moved. Oh, what was that about? It's in my notes. Um oh, something was being moved in the kitchen, and I never found out what it was. I was in the living room, and the dog got up, and then I followed her. I heard something being literally moved, like dragged or something. But there was nothing there, so I don't know what that was about. It's just weird sounds that pop out out of nowhere. Today, what I heard was something that sounded like a TV with its broadcasting, testing, broadcasting thing come on, emergency broadcasting, right? Where it goes a long, long beat. Nothing was on. TV was not on. Nothing was on. It was like, there's nothing. Nothing, no reason for that. I don't know. I don't know what that's about.
Mm,
So, this, on the traditional Thanksgiving, we'll just say traditional because it's not traditional for us, but I guess
mhm.
for other people. But, my husband's chihuahua passed. He was 13 and he
Sorry to
passed.
hear that.
And, thanks. And, so it was like after Christmas, he was having a hard time. So I said, "Oh, why don't you look, right?" So I found this website, that has all breeders on it, right? And going through, I showing him pictures, and he found this one puppy. I said, "Oh, he's cute. Go for it. You know, go for it. It's in Pennsylvania. It's close, right?" And
Mm,
so okay, so we ended up bringing the dog home. We bought 3 packages. You get two in a package of these nyla bones that are like almost clear, kind of. So not like the brown ones or the white ones. They're like clear, and they're for smaller dogs. Well, now we're on to, I believe, one bone left out of 3 packages. We don't know where the bones went. He can't eat them. They're only
mm,
meant to chew on, right? And he really can't pull the pieces off of them. He
mm,
can't eat them. They're just for teething, right?
mhm,
And we looked everywhere. He has his own spot, so it's like not bones can the other dogs can steal his bones because he has his own spot. It's like where'd the bones go? And then something else disappeared of his too. I don't remember what it was, but something else disappeared. So things been disappearing of the puppies, which we were laughing because we said maybe it's Harley. Maybe he's stealing the bones. I don't know. But it's really strange how
mm,
stuff disappears in this house. And that's not the only thing that disappears in the house. Other
mm.
things do too. Oh, okay. So that was weird. My house is very I'll just say my house is very haunted. It's just haunted.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes when I go to lie down, I hear talking. I mean, talking like conversation, and I'll say,
Mm-hmm.
"Okay, everybody, quiet down, settle down. It's sleep time, quiet time, rest time. It's not time for conversation. So we need to settle down." And then it stops. It just stops.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this one night, I was up because I was experiencing that. My drummer, Debbie, she was up. She calls me, and I text her. I texted her, hey, I'm wide awake. I have talking going on. And then she calls me, and she goes, "Oh my God, me too." She goes, "I have all this conversation. I just can't sleep. I'm wide awake." I said, "Yeah, me too." So we got on conversations, and we were up for like 2 hours after that. And then finally we hung up, and we obviously went to sleep, and I went to sleep. But I have that going all the time. And even when I was younger, when I was going to powwows, because I used to be a lead dancer and a dancer, and when I was going to powwows, sometimes I come home and hear the, and I'm like, "Oh my God, settle down, stop, it's rest time," and I still hear the drumming and the singing, right? And I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Oh God, settle down." But
Wow.
it's quite interesting a lot of times. This
Mm.
other time, I have here what's called, my family calls it the ego wall, ego, EGO, because I have up all of our NAMI pictures and our awards, and that's all up there, and on the wall, and I don't know what both me and the dog look, but this whole white, it was like a white mist, large white mist that came across all of that on the wall, and
Mm.
just it came and went. Is all it did.
Mm.
Um, and the dog saw it too, and it was like, huh, okay, that was odd. All right, well, I'm going to sleep. And I just said, okay. Everybody that is like not the nicest, you need to, like, you're not welcome here, so you need to leave because I want sleep. Yeah,
I hear that.
yeah. And the weirdest thing is that Dane is always looking into the dining room. Like she's standing there staring in the dining room. And sometimes it freaks me out. I'm like, what are you looking at? And she's just standing there staring at the dining room. It's
Mm.
like crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy. So something about the house. You ever see like ghost cars? Like you're driving on the road and a ghost car passes you and it's like, whoa. You know?
I've heard about it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah, I experience that quite often too. This
Wow.
one, I experienced. This was weird. I experienced something black and round, right? And I'm driving, and it was like just getting dark, and and I had headlights on, and I could still see, pretty much. And my headlights I have really good headlights. They really beam out and off to the side and in front. They're really good headlights. But anyways, this all of a sudden this black being like the size of a bear, like I would say like a medium sized bear,
Mm-hmm.
comes, but it didn't have legs though. It was just round, and it was very, very black and dark. It comes running into the side of my car, but never felt anything hit the car, but I saw it. It comes towards my car and past the driver's side, and then I'm like, wait, nothing hit the car. The heck was that? It was
Mm.
strange. So I thought maybe it was a spirit bear, you know?
Mm.
I don't know. But it was very strange. Um, and talking about phenomenons like alongside the road, this was a while ago, quite a while ago, that I was seeing this. There was a carcass of a deer. I mean, it was wiped clean. It
Mm.
was just the bones wiped clean, and it
Mm-hmm.
was like what the side of the road, and you can tell it was a deer. I was like, the heck is going on on? I mean, is it something out of this world? Did someone strip a whole deer down to the bone and just leave it, drop it there? I mean, it was the weirdest thing. I just felt like it was something like unnatural that happened to that deer. And then again, it happened again. I was like, something odd is happening here. Something odd's going on. But that was weird. That was weird. So I don't know whether that was something spiritual or if that was something actually there, but it looked solid. It looked solid. It was just a carcass of a deer and no meat on it, no hair, no nothing. No
Yeah.
nothing. No nothing. The one was male and the other one was female. Because there
Mm,
were antlers on the one. The other one did not have antlers, so that was female. So, but I
mm.
saw two like that. That was the strangest thing ever. Really strange. Uh,
Wow. Strongbear Woman is blown away. She doesn't know what to say.
No, I'm
and
just
you know
I'm
what?
just listening. I'm just listening to what she's saying.
You have any questions?
No, because I can relate. I can relate, so I don't have any questions.
Funny. You know what I hate is when I'm just sitting around, no matter where I am, I feel this tap on my head. That drives me crazy. It's like just a tap or a set, and I'm like looking around, like, oh, what's going on? Yeah,
Hmm.
that drives me crazy.
Wow.
Oh, oh, this freaked me out. This really freaked me out. So I came home one night and I was shopping and I had a lot of bags and some of the bags were heavy and I my son wasn't home, my husband was, so I said, hey, can you come out and help me? And I'm sitting there and sitting there, he's not coming out. To me, fast enough. I'm sitting there. All of a sudden, I heard a knock into the back of my SUV, and I'm like, I turn around and look. I'm looking all around. And I don't see nobody, and I'm like, okay, that was weird. I mean, it was a knock, like someone knocked into my SUV, and no animals were out there. I'm in the driveway. I mean, I don't know what the heck that was. That freaked me out. That did freak me out. I'm like, what the heck's knocking on my vehicle?
Hmm.
Strange.
Wow.
Uh, oh yeah, I already talked about that part there. Um, and that. Okay.
Anything you want to add to the conversation of Strongbear Woman?
Well, I had a lot of those experiences earlier. I don't have as many as I used to because I tried to up my spiritual protection because I was just a little bit tired of that sort of stuff. Because I've been in, well, I have had experiences where I work and also when I moved into this apartment that I live in now, and it was quite interesting. I didn't know when I moved here that this was a crack house, and the whole block were crack houses. And in Harlem, there's a lot of history with drugs and that whole thing and whatever that was here before Harlem came about. So it was a lot of activity in the apartment when I first moved here. It took me quite a while to get this place together. You go to sleep and you could hear things bouncing on the walls and things like she was saying that you would put things down, you didn't know where they were missing, and it took quite a while to get this apartment together.
Hmm.
It took quite a while to and I thought when I first moved here it was okay, but it was a lot of that. I remember one time I came home and I came from a spiritual event and I could feel something was following me up the stairs. That was one
Ah,
time. Then one time I came home and I used to have this little light bulb that you know how to those lights that go low, medium, and high. Well, I walked through the door
mhm.
and the thing just started showing out, and I was like, "Look, I don't have the time for this.
Hmm.
I just cut the thing off and kept the lights on, and it finally went away. But I had a lot of experiences in here. A lot of the stuff that I think that I experienced in here had to do with psychic attack too. I was being psychic
Mhm.
attacked
Mm.
because I have been where I know one time I heard the door open and close and something came and jumped on me, and I've had a lot of those experiences
Oh,
at
yeah.
night
Mm.
where you can't move, and I had to
Mhm.
sit there and call on Jesus and to get myself loose. And some couple of those times I almost did not make it. So I understand how people die in their sleep.
Mm.
Mhm.
I've had a couple of them experiences where, or either I've been grabbed, like touched when I was asleep. I could feel like some pull on my foot or something like that. A lot of that I attribute to psychic
Mhm.
attack.
Mm.
And I
What
had to up my game because I was getting tired of this shit.
now? That's an interesting point you bring up. Psychic
Yeah.
attack. Do you think some of the stuff that you're dealing with, Donna, is psychic attack, or is it just a portal open?
Well, I normally the worst attack that I probably had from between the kitchen and turning around in the car was this was years ago, and I woke up during the night, thought I was having a heart attack. I mean, it felt like a heart attack. It felt like
Oh,
something was just right into my heart, and I felt, and I ended up going to ER, and they thought I had a heart attack, right? And the following day, I had a major event, and I was like, I can't miss this event. I met with my girls. I mean, I can't miss it. Some of our
Mm.
events were contracted out. They're contracted, so we can't break the contract. And so, so anyways, the hospital kept saying, oh, we're going to admit you, oh, we're not going to admit you, or we're going to admit you, or we're not going to admit you. Make up your mind, you know. So then I got annoyed. I said, you know what? I'm just staying here. I'm done. And the reason why I said that is right before they came in, when they said they're going to admit me, my aunt showed up by the bed. My aunt's been passed for years. She showed up.
Mm.
I could see her at dad's night, and the look on her face was just, you know, it told me that, they can't talk to us. So it's like, you know, I can understand what they're saying because it's that logical thing where I know what they're saying, but yet they're not talking because they can't talk. But I got from her, leave that hospital, leave it. And if I didn't leave it, maybe something would have happened, you know. And so they so when the documents were written, I said no, I have a major event. I don't want to stay because they had me hooked up to IV, and I started to feel better with the IV, right? And two, I was giving myself light, right? And so I started to feel better. The color came back on my face, and I started to feel better. And they told me we want you to call a cardiologist right now. Well, I had my cardiologist's phone number, um, and I ended up calling him. And I said, "Hey, I'm in the ER. They want me to call you. This is what's happening to me and going on. And can can you see me on Monday or something? They want me to have an appointment with you right away." He says, "Come in 8 o'clock. I'll meet you there at 8 o'clock before I open. Come in. I'll see you then." So I go in, and he says he did an EKG, um, and he did something else. He looked at the records. He saw my records from there, and he said, "Well, I don't know if you believe in this or not, but you were attacked in your sleep. You were attacked. There's nothing wrong with your heart. You were attacked.
Wow.
You did not have a heart attack. You were attacked, right?" And so, anyways, I ended up taking care of it from there, and you know, I probably kind of know maybe who it was. I don't know. But anyways, I ended up taking care of things, and I was fine. And I did go to the event, and I was fine. So yeah, I do believe in you know physical attacks and psychological attacks are very real, very real. I know another time when I walked to a um I forget where I was. It wasn't local here, but I was walking through this town and I was going into the store. And as I started to go into the store, I started to cry, like really cry. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm crying. Why am I crying? I don't know why I'm crying, you know? And then I realized, oh, I know why I'm crying because someone died right here where I
Mm,
was, and I was picking that up. But at the same time, someone was messing with me too
mm.
at the same time, because I could feel it. But very, very strange. Um, I was going to say something else. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, the spirit world really, in a sense,
Say that
because
again. You broke up.
the spirit world is only about 3 feet above ground, really, in a sense, because I believe the way I see the dead and see spirits and even see evil, that it's right here. It's right here among us, right here, you
Hmm.
know? And yeah, it's really quiet here. But anyways, yeah, so, you know, um, I think when my experiences, even as a kid, as a child, uh, I guess I could say I'm a magnet to all this.
That's
Definitely a
what I
magnet.
said.
Um,
Definitely a magnet.
yeah,
Oh man. Mm. Man, I
but
tell you.
I know there's always something, you know, always
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And I know the one night, the doorknob on the door was moving. The dog went to the door, and the dog was like looking at the knob, and I went to the window to see if someone was trying to come in, who belonged in here, and no, there's nobody, no cars, and you know, so I don't know. There was nobody on the camera, so
Mm.
nobody outside, but the knob was just kind of wiggling around.
Yeah.
Strange.
Wow.
Yeah, that happened. That when I used to live in the projects, I that used to happen a lot. But I guess people were actually doing it. I used to at night.
Oh
I would see. Yeah, I would
wow.
see the knob. I would see the knob turn. And one thing that my mother did before she went to bed, she made sure those locks were on the door. But it
Mm.
was,
Right.
I remember seeing that more than once when I was living in the projects around two, like in the middle of the night. I'm always up at night. And you would go in there.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I went in the kitchen, I was just sitting there looking at it. It was somebody that was turning the lock. Now, I don't know if it was Saints or what, but it was could have been somebody in there trying to get into somebody's apartment too.
Right. 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 Right.
But I've experienced, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it
Very
is kind of
strange. Yeah.
scary. It's very strange.
And
It's very,
the thing about it that we have an outside glass door, and then it's our door with a steel door, and that the outside door never moved or never heard anything like that because you can hear it open and close.
mm.
So
Mm.
you know, what the heck? Strange.
Mm.
But that's my house here. Strange. And even my SUV is strange because the radio goes on all by itself. I'll be driving and here comes the radio. I'm like, I didn't turn on the radio, so I turn it off. My glove box sometimes opens by itself. I'll be driving along and all of a sudden the glove box will spring open. I'm like, what the heck? I mean, it's only 2 years old. It's not like it's an old vehicle. So,
Mm.
mm. Right.
Wow.
Oh, the headrest of my SUV. I put them down and something put them up. I put it down and within all their headrests. And I don't think my grandsons are putting them up because they're in car seats and booster things. So I don't think they're the ones putting them up. They're too
Mm.
young to even know how to do that. But even in the front, I put them down, they're back up. I don't know how they end up back up. It's the weirdest thing. So
That's
strange.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my SUV. And yeah.
And I know Strongbear Woman, um, you have some experiences where you were telling me about with the things going on in your house as well.
Oh yeah, it's when we first moved here. It was pretty bad. It was especially at night. And then my son's father was living here, and he was always complaining because he could hear things like like he felt like it was a ball bouncing on the ceiling, or like
Uh,
different, like different noises and stuff. And oh, you know what else that I don't hear anymore? Too tough, but you could hear people walking in your apartment,
Mm,
like because the apartment
mhm.
I have is a railroad apartment, and it has a long hallway, and you could hear people walking up, and I don't know. See, the way these buildings are built, and a lot of times they're not really built with the best installation, and you could hear, like I could hear what goes on in my apartment next door. But that was another thing that was really prevalent when we first moved here. It was that you felt like even during the day you could hear people walking up and down your apartment. And I know the lady that helped me get this apartment lived in the other building on the corner in 2400, and she told me the same thing. She said that she would be in the house by herself, and her husband worked at night because he was a correction officer, and she would be afraid because she used to hear like like someone with like boots, walking back and forth in her apartment, and it was only her and the kids, and they were small. And it was a lot of that. It was a lot of that here. It was a lot
Wow.
of that here. It was a lot of that. And what I realized is that there were two plantations. You know that there's two plantations that sat very close to where I live. The first one
really?
comes, yes, City College sits on part of the land that was Alexander Hamilton's plantation.
Mm,
That's haunted too.
mm,
I
Mhm.
don't know if I should say that or not, because I
Mhm.
don't really know if the hierarchy would want that out, but it's haunted there too.
mm.
And where I
Yeah.
live down the hill, it was another plantation. Now you heard of Bradhurst Avenue?
Yes.
Bradhurst were Dutch slave owners, and
Mm.
they had a plantation as well. I have not been able to determine exactly where it was located.
But it was in Harlem, Brandhurst.
It's in Harlem.
Yeah,
Bradhurst were
I know Brandhurst
Dutch.
Street very well. Yeah, I
Yes.
pass by there every day on my route. On
Well,
my
they
way.
were plantation owners, just like the Delancey. You see Delancey Street?
Right,
They
right.
were early Huguenots, and all of these people were early New York families, and they owned slaves.
Okay.
And he owned the
Mhm.
thing with Alexander Hamilton. He bought that plot of land from someone else, for a larger plot of
Hmm.
land. So I guess by this time the Lenape were gone, or I don't really know where the Lenape were. I guess they were gone, or they went somewhere else, because it, it did not come directly from the Lenape.
Mm,
And that
Hmm.
place is that place is really interested too. And I've heard that there's a graveyard that sits like on 135th Street, but I'm that's what I heard, but I don't know if that's true either.
right. Yeah, I heard about that too.
There's a graveyard on
Hmm.
135th Street. That the park is part of his land too. St. Nicholas Park is part of his land too.
Mm,
That's why
Yeah.
they put his house there. They moved his house from Convent and moved it down the hill and put inside the park. All that was land that he owned.
oh,
and he named it the Grange. The house is there, and I passed by the house. It looks just as creepy. You could tell it's full of haints.
Wow.
Wow.
You could just look at the house and I could look at the house and tell it's full of ghosts.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
you see it when you walk up 141st Street. It's
Mm.
right there. They have tours.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they have tours, just like the Morris Jamel Mansion up on 100 and what is that, 161st Street. They
Mm.
have tours.
Mm-hmm.
On
Yeah.
160
Yeah,
so where?
yeah. Like on it's off um the it's right off the FDR Drive,
Oh.
because that's the place that George Washington had set up shop during the Revolutionary War, and it was the highest point. And
Mm.
he could look 30 miles. He could look into Jersey. He
Mm.
could look into Queens. He could look into Brooklyn. Jamel, you should look at the Morris Jamel Mansion. I went in there
Mm.
too, and they had tours there. It has that same kind of energy. It's like kind of moldy, because I guess it's
Uh-huh.
closed up all the time. But I'm quite certain they have some energy in there too as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
And when you look at the streets are cobblestone. They have people with that live in those. We have to go there. I have to show it to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Morris Jamel Manson. Morris Jumel Mansion.
Mm.
Because they have some wars that they fought in Harlem for the Revolutionary War.
Mm.
So I don't know. It's a lot of, it's a lot, like she said, the veil is thin. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of that stuff going on, and you move into these places and you don't know the history of the place, and you get these apartments. A lot of these apartments, people have died in, and I hate to say it, a lot of people died violently,
Mm-hmm.
and they just slap some paint on and clean it up, and you move in, you don't know what you're moving into. And then you move in, you settle in, because I didn't have these problems till we moved in about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Then they start showing their behinds. So I don't know. It's especially living in the urban areas.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Yeah.
lot of that. It's very important that you clean your apartment out before you even set some boundaries, and make sure you spiritually clean your apartment before you even move in there,
That's true.
because it's a
Yeah.
lot of that. A lot of that. I know when I was living in the projects, we had 3 people to die on our floor. We
Mm.
had an Italian man, he died. The little Jewish lady died around the corner. She was a sweetheart. And who else? Oh, and another thing was interesting too, is that in the department 14D, where I lived, the building that I lived in, before we moved there was a black family that lived there. I heard that the son jumped out the window. Now I lived on the 14th
Mm.
floor. So now another Puerto Rican family moved in there, and the father hung himself in the bathroom.
Mm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a lot
Uh,
of that in that building. It was a lot of that kind of energy. And that apartment I came from wasn't totally right either. It was a lot
wow.
of that. Depending on where you live, and especially living in the inner city, and especially living if you live in public housing, or you live in anything like that, you're gonna have some issues. More
Yeah.
than
See,
likely,
I
if
live
you're open to that.
Mm.
right. I live in the country, but here where I live, this used to be farmland. Farmland. A lot of
Hmm.
farms. Um, when farmers didn't pay their taxes through history, they were
Hmm.
hung,
Oh my
and
God.
they used to hang people that didn't pay their taxes at a certain farm that was meant for you know for that purpose. But
That is true. Yeah, they did
that,
hang people for not paying those taxes. Yep.
yep.
Oh
So
my
this used to
God.
be farmland, but here that we've had so much activity here, even from when I moved in, which was about almost 40 years ago. I mean, um, I would guess 40, yeah, about that, almost 40. So, you know, um, but it's always been crazy here when, I know I did another show. I hate repeating myself, but I did another show where I talked about, uh, the farmer that was, that was in my house. Um, and I took it as him protecting my daughter, which is what he did. He protected my daughter as a baby up until, through her childhood. And eventually I had to, but he was here. And then the farmer's daughter died around 12 of disease. I've seen her out on the property, and I moved her on. But the worst thing was when, for nights on nights, we would see this guy walking up a road in a horse riding clothes bike, right? Black, with a hood in the back and in the back, and you know, up our road, and he'd stop and stare at our house. And this happened for a very long time. And so I decided to brave it out, go out to my yard, sit out there, and watch this guy come up. So I'm sitting at the curb, and I'm like watching this guy come up, and comes up, and I'm like, this guy has no face. He's faceless.
Oh wow.
Nice. So I took off running from my front door, which is a ways to get to. But I was running to my front door and said, "Oh, I'm not having it. I'm out of here." Right? But it was so strange because after that, I decided to do a little thing outside and have him move on, have him get out of here. And that was the last time I saw him. But that was very strange. And then the guy that was, the dog's barking. I hope you don't hear that. But anyways, I'm trying to pain in the butt. But anyways, I was driving on our main road down here, off of our road where we live, and this guy, he had suspenders on, old farmer tackies on, right? He had blood on his face, blood on his t-shirt, right? White t-shirt, and
Mhm.
carrying his little sack, and he was running, and I'm thinking, he just robbed the house. He just robbed the house, right? So he runs across the road, and I'm watching him run. I was about ready to call 911. There's these Dutch pillars that sit in the woods. He
Mhm.
ran through that and just disappeared. He was gone.
Mm.
Nowhere to be seen. I was like, okay, I get it. I get it. Yeah, that was a ghost. Thank
Wow.
God I didn't. Thank God I didn't call 911 because it was.
Mm. Right, it's a crazy lady who's.
I said, sure, lady, sure. And then, oh, the other thing that I saw, which is really odd because it's really something that is like, I guess, in fairy tales. I don't know who would say fairy tales. Mythology, I guess. More mythology, I guess, right? And I was in the kitchen looking into the dining room, and where I'm sitting, over to my right, there's like a corner curio, and right there was this being, which I just messed up the paper. This being was, it looked like this. Let me see. Oh, now we
Mhm.
can't see. Look at that. The light is flickering, so there's
We
nothing I
can
can
see
do
it.
about that. Sorry.
Yeah, we can
But
see it.
anyway, I don't know if you can see that, but I
Yes.
did a drawing. It's really chicken scratch, but it was like this person was about maybe 4 feet tall, and
Mhm.
it was wearing like these white, off-white rags, like all rags coming down. It even had a head that had rags coming down,
Mm.
and it showed up, and I was like, "Who are you?" And then it completely disappeared, and
Mm.
it's like I know what I saw, and so I looked it up, and it was like a north or something that was like, mythology, like, you know. But I'm still baffled by that because I don't know whether that was a person or was it something, you know, out of this world, or what was it, But I know what I saw, but
Yeah.
it was bizarre, weird. Um, Usually I'm not bothered by things. I mean, they don't really scare me.
Because it happens to you so frequently, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I've become accustomed to it. I'm used to it, you know. And orbs. I've seen orbs inside and outside. I've seen things show up as almost like an orange and red and yellow, huge spiritual things show up, and it's like, well, okay, I mean, orbs are protective, you
Mm.
know.
I've
They're
seen an orb.
they're
Yeah.
not anything that's gonna hurt you, But I see a lot of orbs too. Um, I've seen my father recently, um, about 3 times.
Really?
He's come around. I think he's just kind of curious, you
Mm,
know,
yeah.
checking and curious. That's what I get from it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in Walmart's, I was in Walmart's this one time. I despise Walmart's, but they do have good prices. I
They
they
do.
don't really have sales, but they have good prices. So I just, sometimes I go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I was in Walmart's and I could hear someone walking. I thought it was my daughter. 'Cause we end up separated a lot. I go over here and it drives her crazy. I'll just disappear and I'm gonna go get this without telling her.
Mm.
So I thought it was my daughter coming up behind me, and I turned around and looked, and it was this guy. He's strolling the cart, right? And I'm like, oh, over. I'm watching him go, right? And I'm like, wait a minute, where'd he go? He kept going straight. He didn't turn up down the aisle. And I'm watching him. I'm like, where the heck did he go?
Wow.
Heck. Now, the funny thing was that he had a cart. He didn't have a cart, but there was evidence that there was a cart right there. So who had the cart?
Oh,
Was it?
wow.
Did he really have a cart? And he left the cart, but he just disappeared. He was out, and that happened again in Walmart's too, where I
Really?
seen a woman like appear in the aisle. Then I'm I look over at her and I'm like, whoa, okay, all right, never mind. You know, I know there's a lot of strange things that go on in that Walmart's, but you know, it's strange. I've had instances where um I've seen people show up, right, that either I don't know or I do know, you know, and I just I just don't let it bother me. 'Cause I think a lot of times it's out of curiosity, it's interest, it's out of um, checking you out,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
checking you out, make sure you're safe and seeing what you're up to, you know, because the only way that they can visit us is sometimes in front of us, but the other way is that really in our dreams.
Mm.
You know? In our dreams, I get a lot of visitations in my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I remember this was years ago, where I dreamt of it was my father, my cousin on my father's side, and my uncle, who was the father of my cousin. They were all three standing there, and they were saying, "We're so proud of her. Aren't you? Yeah, I'm proud of her. We're so proud of her."
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I was like, "Wow, that's really cool." I was like, "That was a really good visit. That was cool." Yeah. So, it's more. My mother came in my dream once to warn me of something, and it did come true. So it was a warning, and it was okay. It turned out okay, but at least I knew ahead of time, that hey, she warned me, and this is what it is, and okay, you know, it's solved. But I have a lot of experiences with dreams too. Um, Not just you know, in front of me or you know. I
Mm.
remember years ago. I know I talked about this, but years ago I was in a store called Mother Earth's, They were down in Wappingers, and I went in there looking for something to help me out, health wise. And this woman came up to me and she says, "Oh, here, try this," right? I said,
Mhm.
"Oh, interesting. Okay." Right? I said, "Oh, thank you." When I went to turn and say thank you, she wasn't there.
Mm.
I walked to the woman that was behind the desk. I said, "Did you see the woman in the aisle that handed me this?" Right? She goes, "There was no woman in the aisle." I said, "No, the woman handed me this." She goes, "No, there was no woman in the aisle."
Mm.
I said, "Okay." I decided to go throughout all the aisles looking for this woman. I could not find her. So I was like, but I bought the product and it did work for me. So there we go. I
Wow.
took her and bought the product. And that happened to me in the Mother Earth store across the river. I was looking for something that had a horrible teeth, tooth pain. And I was tired of taking antibiotics. I was like, it just keeps coming back. And I didn't really want to pull the tooth, right? And
Mhm.
like, oh God, I gotta find something for this. So I'm standing in the aisle and this older man comes up and goes, "What you looking for?" I said, "Oh, I have this horrible toothache. I just want to get rid of it. The dentists are a joke. I just want to get rid of it. He says, "Oh," he says, "I use this. I haven't had any kind of tooth pain. I always take care of my teeth with this and it works. I guarantee it, right?" And he goes, "You should try this, right?" So I I grabbed a box that had the bottle in it. I said, "Oh, cool, right? Thank you. Wait a minute, where are you?" And I asked the guy and the woman that was getting candy, bulk candy and stuff, right, and nuts and stuff. I said, "Did you see the guy that I was talking to?" He goes, "Well, I heard you talking, but I didn't see nobody." I said, "There was a guy there." There was a guy. I'm thinking they're thinking I'm crazy.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I've had that happen several times with things, you know.
They're saying
And
that's that crazy little woman that we saw talking to herself in the aisle.
yeah, right. And there she goes. That's that woman. Oh man, uh, nuts. And I lately I've seen a spirit something inside my house that is an animal that looks like a little bit bigger than a woodland rat. Now woodland rats do not come in the house. They called woodland rats because they live in the woods, so they
Oh.
don't come in your house like European rats do. And
Mm.
I have a spirit one in my house, which I'm not sure if it's that or it's a possum. It could even be a possum because
Mhm.
like 2019, um, maybe it was 18. Yeah, it was 18. My third Great Dane passed, but before she passed, that whole winter, um, I was feeding stray cats outside, cat food, and all of a sudden the possums were coming to eat the cat food. So I set out little water, right, each day and each night because it would freeze. So I would set out fresh water all the time for the cats and the possums because the possums were coming around too. And my dog and cat used to watch the possums outside from the grass, and it was really cool. There was a baby that was trying to get in my house, and I thought, "Oh no, no, it's on the screen doing this with its little feet," and I'm like, "No, you can't come in. You will keep me awake all night long. You cannot come in. No, you're wrong. You belong out there." I just, because the mother was out there, but it was because the possums started to disappear. I didn't see the baby after a while, and I went to go leave, and it was hit. The baby was hit.
Mm.
So it was very sad. So I'm wondering if that's not what I'm seeing, maybe the one the possums, but I'm not sure if it's a woodland rat or it's a possum, you know.
Mm.
But I'm almost thinking woodland rat, but it's yeah. I miss the possums. The cat used to go outside and be out with the possums. So
Mm.
the ferals would come around and be with the possums. Cats and possums get along very well. They don't bother each other, which
Oh
is
yeah.
interesting. And the possums eat like cats. They'll actually wash themselves just like a cat does after they've had food, after they had a meal. which is very interesting. But
Mm.
yeah, I learned a lot from the possums watching them. So when they were
Wow.
coming around. Mm,
Mm. Now, let me
mhm.
ask you a question. I have two questions.
Yeah.
So, you said earlier that the spirits come around you. They only come, only allowed to come around, come in front of you and in dreams. Now, why is that? And are there like, do they have like restrictions on the other side in terms of visiting us and things of that nature?
I don't think they're really restrictions. I think that they're, I think sometimes when people have been gone for a really long time, um, most likely they're not going to show, you know. Um, but when spirits have passed recently, I think they're more likely to show. But
Mm,
I know that I've seen relatives that, um, of my prior generation and that prior generation
mm,
show up and but also show up in dreams, you know.
mm,
But there's not really a permission about it, you know. I think it's just and I don't ask for it. It just happens,
mm,
you know. Yeah, I don't really have an explanation for that. It just happens
mm,
that, things show up. I don't know whether it's because they're comfortable with me or they're trying to give me a message or they're trying to tease me or scare me or, annoy me. Um,
mm,
I don't know. I don't really know what they're, you know, what they're trying to always convey to me. A lot of times, like in dreams, I know what they're talking about. You know, there's no actual communication. It's telepathic. And it's the same when usually see a spirit. It's telepathic, you know. They can't speak,
mm. Okay.
right? I know when I hear voices, I know that I'm entering into a state where it's like, oh boy, there's conversations going around and this is not the time for it, and I cut it off.
Okay.
And, I know my drummer Debbie experiences that too.
Mm,
And I was reading a book. I forget the name of the book, and I loaned the book out, and I never got the book back. But um, it was talking about telepathic communications, and
mm,
it was the most interesting book because it talked about hearing the voices too. You know, not just telepathic communications, but also hearing the voices at night when you're trying to go to sleep, and all of a sudden you hear these voices of conversation going on,
mm,
and it's like the one night when um, I could hear this I could hear this, but then I could hear footsteps in my kitchen, but no one's out there, or I could hear the creaking in the hallway, whereas no one in the hallway, everybody's asleep. There's no
mm,
one up, you know. Um, lately I've been hearing what I think maybe is a previous Dane because Roma would be in the living room with me, right? And I could hear the collar tags hitting her dish out here in the kitchen. Her
mm.
stainless steel dishes on like a rack higher up because she's a Dane, and I can hear the tags hitting the dish, but yet Roma's in the living room with me. Then I could hear the Danes have particular um, sound when they walk across like a kitchen floor, you know, or a
Mhm.
hard floor, and that's what it sounded like a Dane walking around.
Mm.
And I even heard a Dane shake and hear the tags jingle in the living room when Roma's been on the couch quiet, not even moving or asleep, you
Oh.
know. So I think that it's I think that's what it is, the previous Dane.
Mm.
So it could have been, Roman's my fourth Dane, so it could have been either the first one, the second one. For some reason, I believe it was the third Dane,
Mm.
where, Dane was, visiting and coming through, you know.
Mm.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty interesting,
Wow. Yeah. All that stuff is
Yeah.
quite interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
But, I think as a child I've seen things, really strange things, and I know we had a show about that. Everybody, this is our fourth show. Yeah, this is our part 4. So you can always go back and watch part 1, part 2, and part 3.
right. Right.
Watch this one too.
Yeah.
There's all new stuff in each one. Um,
That's true.
yeah,
That's true. Each one is new.
yeah. I did repeat a few things tonight, but that's all right. It's been a while since the other ones, but
Mhm.
it's uh I forget what I was going to say before, but it was really interesting what I was going to say before. Uh, hmm,
Well,
never mind.
um, you have so many stories. It's easy to
Easy
forget.
to forget what's what. Yeah, yep, that's for sure. Yeah, definitely.
So we're coming up on our closing time now,
Yeah, definitely.
but I know that this won't be the last show because I'm sure that after this show, you're gonna have some more stories to tell.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yep,
Anything you
yep.
wanted to say, Strong Bear Woman, before the show closes out? You there, Strong?
Yes, yes. I was just listening. Yes, thank you for having me on. I'm glad to finally met the sister, and she's
Uh,
had some really, really great experiences. So I'm not alone. People think that you're crazy,
and they're not
and
crazy.
yeah, people think that you're crazy because I tell people on the
Hmm.
job, different things that and they look at me like I'm insane. But it is what certain people see certain things or feel. So I don't actually see spirits. I feel spirits more so. But
Mm.
it is out here, and we walk amongst them or they walk amongst us, and it's something that is we have to be thoughtful of.
Yeah, they do walk among us, and I think it's like a dual respect. If
Mm,
we
Yeah.
respect them, they're gonna respect us.
Yes,
mhm,
So
ma'am.
yeah,
mhm. For
yeah.
sure.
And for all the people that doubt us, someday they will have at least one experience. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
because I know my husband had experience, and he's finally a believer.
You're crazy before, right?
Yep.
Like I'm married to a crazy woman. I love her, but she's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. He finally gets it. I mean, this one night there was a beep out in the kitchen, right? But nothing. The mic was on, air fryer, nothing was on that would make a beep. Timer on, nothing would make a beep, but there was a beep, and we're trying to figure out where it was coming from, but it came from nowhere. So there you go. It was just something that
Mm,
was spiritual. That was, then he was like, "You and your ghost, you're a magnet. You attract."
Yeah.
oh yeah, oh yeah. I know it would be really interesting hanging out with you for a day.
Oh, I see Firebird. Hey, Firebird. She said
Yep.
I was touched by a spirit and saw orbs all the time. Yup,
Yep.
yep,
There's
that's
orbs
true.
in this house that I'm in too, but I never saw them until I was took in a video, and then when I watched the video, you could see the orbs, but I never saw the orbs with my own eyes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually come out on film. A lot of that
Right.
comes
Right.
out on film.
Yeah, I've seen one here in with my own eyes, right in my
I've seen him
apartment.
with my own eyes. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And my old Android took the best orb pictures. My iPhone,
Mm,
iPhone didn't even touch it. But my
mm.
old Android takes the best orb pictures. But I
Oh,
have no
really?
way of sharing it because it's not, it's not connected to anything. And the messenger I have on it doesn't really work very well. So there's no way of sharing what I see, except for in the past. But I might have, I might be able to download some of those pictures on my old computer and I
Mm,
could share them. But yeah, it was the orbs were very interesting, flying through or just spreading up and out or flying through, and it was crazy. It was very very interesting. But I've seen orbs with my own eyes though, come through. But they're protectors,
mhm.
So yeah,
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 yeah. Well, it's always a pleasure to have you on the
yeah.
show, and like I said, I know that by the next time we have you on, you'll have a whole nother load of stories to tell us.
I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. I know I have someone interested in going to a few places, so I said
Mm,
that I would accompany them. So
yeah.
and and then so we will see.
Mm, mm,
We will
yeah.
see about that. Yeah,
Okay.
we'd have to get permission, but I can do that probably. Yeah,
Mm,
Firebird said that she sees them sometimes in very big groups.
you're big.
Yeah, I've seen them in groups before too. I've
Mm,
seen them even outside my door here at night in groups, which is wild.
mm,
But yeah, pretty cool.
yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, I thank you again for joining us and presenting that information. And we look forward to having you again.
Thank you for having me as always. It's an honor and
Yeah.
a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I thank my co host for the night, Strongbear Woman, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Uh,
Yeah. And
Thank
for
you for
yeah,
sharing. Yeah.
No
definitely.
problem. No problem.
And for those who are viewing, Strong Bear Woman is the other person that you see in the parades,
Uh,
who is part of the committee. You've seen her. For those of you who are watching, who has been to the parades, this is the same Strong Bear Woman from the National Indigenous People of the Americas parade. She
uh,
doesn't have her camera on right now because it was spur of the
uh,
moment.
uh,
Yeah,
that's great. Nice
yeah.
to meet
She must have stepped away.
you.
But
If you know what to do, I turn when I'm not speaking. I turn off the volume in case there's other
feedback.
sounds or whatever in here. But
Right.
no, it's not. It's a pleasure to meet you as well, dear. I
Thank
kind of
you.
stay behind the. I'm more of a behind the scenes type of person. So people know
Uh,
him because he's out in front and center and Firebird. But I prefer to stay behind the scenes.
uh,
I could understand that. Yeah. All
Ivern
right.
said that she saw a medicine man as a child.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
That's
deep.
great.
That's deep.
Yeah. I had a
Yeah.
medicine man come to me spiritually. Uh, just recently, actually, like maybe a year
Really?
ago. Yeah, it was very interesting. I don't know who he was, but he was younger, um, like probably
Board of directors.
40s, early 40s, and he was very handsome, and it was interesting. I think he came to help me. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's very interesting.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yep. This is
Yeah,
so many interesting stories, and
yeah, there
it's
is.
real. It's not make believe. These stories are
Hmm. Yeah,
these are real experiences that
right,
people that people have. You know.
right.
Yeah. All
Oh,
right. So we're gonna close out now, and
okay. Thank you so much.
yeah, and we definitely look forward to the next show, number 5. Yeah.
Yes.
For those in YouTube land who didn't hit the thumbs up, make sure you do that before we close out. And then, until the next time, we don't say goodbye, but we say, until we meet again.
Until we meet again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I thank both of you, Strongbear Woman, Donna.
Uh,
I'm gonna close the
thank-
show out now. Okay.
okay. Good night, everyone.
All righty. Good night.
Night.
Good night. Good night.
Okay. So yes, as I told you, it was gonna be a very interesting show and a very chilling, chilling night with stories that some would say are unbelievable, but we know for a fact that they are real stories. And again, thank you for joining us. And until the next time, Doda Dog, Sereme, Ayo.